did this prayer as a church, as a movement, the High Sabbath Adventist movement. And this will be important when we look up the heavens where have been sun and moon. And are we really the two witnesses part? Do we have part on the story of the two witnesses? Yeah. And then I marked it still with question marks, the ascension of the two witnesses. How does the whole two witnesses story then fulfill finally? Yeah. When is this voice heard, the great voice from heaven, come up hither? When will two churches of the 7 churches of Revelation, when will Smyrna and Philadelphia be raptured before other churches are left and have to go through the hour of temptation on the earth? That will be the great question, and we will answer that in this video. So let's look up the heavens and these 5 dates that are already known to us in the judgment time, the two witnesses in the judgment time. Let's first look at the date when Hiram Edson saw Jesus entering the most holy place, the beginning of the judgment time. So that was the 23rd of October 1844, and as Hiram Edson tells us, the sun had just risen, and I put ourselves in Buffalo, New York, because he was very near there at that time in Port Gibson. So you see exactly the sunrise that Hiram Edson saw. And where is the sun? The sun is in Virgo. And here we have the equinox point of the Church of Philadelphia. What did Ellen White say? What was the church at that time? It was the Church of Philadelphia, the living Church of Philadelphia in 1844. Where was the moon? Of course, the moon had already set, and we have to switch off the background, and we have to look where the moon was. And the moon was in this hour in Pisces, and even in the lying fish, exactly at the equinox point. How incredible is that, please? Because this Philadelphia one day would belong to the church that has died. Yeah? I do not say that's a martyr church, but I do say that's a church that went to the grave before Jesus would come. So here we have sun and moon together in the perfect positions for the two witnesses, the two candlesticks. Both sun and moon in the candlestick constellations. Now I brought us to Minneapolis in Minnesota, and to the 17th of October 1888, the day of the beginning of the General Conference session, when two witnesses, Waggoner and Jones, brought their testimony. Let's look where sun and moon have been. Yeah, and you see it already. Again, sun was in Virgo, and here is the equinox point, and where was the moon? Exactly, again, at the other equinox point in the lying fish. Philadelphia church, together with the Smyrna candlestick. So again, a prophecy in a certain form that this Philadelphia church would die and become Laodicea, but the faithful pioneers would go through as Smyrna and resurrect in a special resurrection. And finally, we come to our time, 2009, the 30th of December. And I brought us to Asunción, Paraguay, where I did the discovery. And I brought us to an exact moment that I could check out. And this is 15 hours, 57 or 3 p.m., 57 minutes. This is the download time of the map that I showed you before, with which I read the Orion clock. You see already where the sun is. The sun is in Sagittarius, and here is the solstice point. Yeah, this time we are in the area where I should in the next year, 2010, then find the correct crucifixion date. This is Sun. Where's the Moon? Yeah. As incredible as it seems to be, the Moon was on that time exactly in the club of Orion. And here is the other solstice point, the other tree. So and this is my discoveries. Exactly from that moment on, I started to write about these things. The Orion study, and little later in 2010, also the correct date of Jesus' crucifixion that deciphers then the rest of the revelation and the true calendar of God. In the email that I had showed you before, the second witness, Brother Gerhard, he started to investigate the Orion study on the 21st of December 2010. And he spent 3 whole days to reconstruct it, to buy a certain program, to look at all the things that I had described in the Orion study. And then he was convinced in these days to join me in the mission. And he wrote this important email to me. So I brought you to that date, the 21st of December 2010. And here we have the Sun, of course, and the cross. Yeah, he was even new apostolic at that time, directly at the heart of the Father, and in the solstice point of the tree witness. And where was the Moon? Yeah, it is incredible. If you look at that, I'm in Vienna, so let me say at 10 o'clock in the morning in Vienna, he started to research, and here was the Moon directly in the club of Orion, as incredible as it may seem, because it is exactly the same constellation sign, yeah? Sun in the cross in one of the tree witnesses, and the Moon in the other tree in the club of Orion. The same constellation, the same arrangement that I have in my finding time of the Orion clock message. Yeah, when I was unstuck in my studies, it is really orchestrated by the grand hand of the grand maestro, the grand artist of the universe. Yeah, even if you add now 1 or 2 days, and then you see the Moon is still in Gemini. And Gemini, as you know from the other time of Jesus, is the 2 men. And again, God had assembled 2 men to bring his last latter rain message to the world. Already in 2010 we were ready, and then we went out. As I explained already in other videos, on the 19th to the 20th of October 2016, we did our Church of Philadelphia prayer. And where is the Sun? In Virgo, as I showed many times. It was even on the 19th, the rising Sun in Virgo that fulfilled then the Revelation 7 prophecy. And here is, of course, the equinox point of the Church of Philadelphia, activated by the Sun. And the Spirit of God, Jupiter, the Ruach, was also in Virgo, again a part of the fulfillment, because it says in Revelation 7 that this angel that commands the church to pray for more time